Welcome back to another rapid review with the Gifted Academics team. Today we are discussing a topic from the CISSN exam found in Chapter 2. Specifically, we're going to be talking about what you need to know to pass the exam and become a certified sports nutritionist about muscle fiber types. It's interesting for a sports nutrition exam to cover exercise physiology to the extent of knowing the differences and the properties of muscle fiber types. But when we get into later chapters and we talk about fueling strategies for different athletes, supplements, how they affect different sports, what effect they have on the different muscle fibers, the different muscle fiber capacities and outputs, it'll start to make more sense. So we must start with the basics here. This will be broken down into 3 parts here. Basically, what you need to memorize for the exam, some definitions that you 100% really want to know because they're basic recall, multiple choice on the exam. And then last but not least, some implications for athletes or lifestyle clients. Again, lifestyle clients meaning improve body composition, get a little bit stronger, improve their health. All right, starting with what we need to memorize. Table 2.1 is your friend right here. What you need to do on this one is just make basic flashcards for the 3 different muscle fiber types. So that would be your SO, slow oxidative, type 1 muscle fibers, your fast oxidative glycolytic, FOG, fog fibers, or type 2A, and your FG, your fast glycolytic fibers, your type 2X. So start by writing those 3 on the front of a flashcard. And then on the back of that flashcard, you want to write down the biochemical properties. I won't read those off. I have faith that you can read. Contractile properties, and of course, your structural properties. You want to know the differences, as it's written here by the ISSN, between those. You're going to get basic multiple choice recall questions. Which of the following muscle fiber type has a low myosin ATPase activity? You're expected to then recall that would be a slow oxidative fiber. So know that chart right there. That'll help you tremendously. You'll get at least 4 or 5 questions on the exam asking you to recall those things right there. So super easy questions if you've taken the time to memorize those. The second piece of this video is definitions. What definitions you need to know. This is something that you'll need not only for this exam, but for the CSCS, if you go forward and take that, certified exercise physiologist. You want to get a degree in exercise science, whether that's a bachelor's or a master's degree, you're going to see this definition over and over. It's better to learn right now that a motor unit is the motor neuron and all the muscle fibers that it innervates. Say it with me now. A motor unit is a motor neuron and all of the muscle fibers that it innervates. Absolutely something that you want to memorize. That's going to be a question on the test. So out of the 200 questions that you get, that'll be one of them. Go ahead and just burn that into your brain now so you can get that question right. You also want to know the definitions of these muscle fiber types. So you want to know what it means to be slow and oxidative. Why do we call type 1 muscle fibers slow oxidative? Well, the contraction speed is slow, the shortening velocity is slow, and it exhibits properties that are oxidative in nature. The ATP utilization and the replenishment, the rephosphorylation of that ATP is oxidative in nature. Okay, that means that there must be more mitochondria there. Look down at structural properties, mitochondrial density is high. So these things start to make sense the more you apply the exercise physiology. Same thing for the FOG fibers and fast glycolytic. Why are they called fast oxidative glycolytic? That's 2 different things. Well, they're fast twitch fibers, meaning their shortening velocity and their relaxation speed is fast. They generate a high amount of power and tension, like you would see from a type 2 fiber. But when we look at enzymatic activity and ATP production capacity, we see that they exhibit both oxidative, meaning that there are a moderately high amount of mitochondria to be found there, and glycolytic capacity. So they utilize both of those energy or those bioenergetic pathways. Fast glycolytic, you can kind of infer there. Contraction speed, contraction velocity, relaxation speed, force production, all what you would expect from a fast twitch type 2 muscle fiber. purely glycolytic in nature, meaning that the mitochondrial density is low. The production of ATP via your oxidative mechanisms, your oxidative pathways would then be low. So they're named in a way that's very intuitive. They're not trying to trick you or, be fancy there. So you want to know those three definitions as well, have an understanding of why they were named what they were named. Last but not least on this slide and this topic is you really want to know the implications in athletes and lifestyle clients. So for lifestyle clients, the majority of those clients will be utilizing some form of basic moderate load resistance training with some cardiovascular conditioning built in. For them, they're going to see a fiber type shift towards the middle. If they are a naturally type 2X dominant athlete, a fast glycolytic athlete, a power-driven athlete, engaging in traditional hypertrophy training and cardiovascular conditioning at moderate intensities, you'll see a shift over towards that fast oxidative glycolytic. Now, for your athletes, the spectrum is varied. Your athletes that are in your longer duration, more aerobic, bioenergetic pathway-driven pursuits, they'll see a shift towards fast oxidative, just oxidative mechanisms as a whole. The opposite of that spectrum being true as well. Your sprint power athletes will see a shift via their training towards more glycolytic, more fast twitch properties. We'll talk about those implications a little bit more from a nutritional, refueling, hydration, supplemental standpoint in future chapters. But for now, those are the big three things that you want to know on this slide right here. Remember, you're going to see a lot of questions from Table 2.1 on the exam, so you really just want to memorize the contents of that, know your definitions, and just like that, you've secured yourself about 10 out of 200 correct answers on the exam. You're welcome. Thank me later. Or just go to the link in the show notes, sign up for one of our exams, our self-led or our instructor-led preps, to learn more from one of our great instructors. We will see you on the next video. That wraps up this rapid review.